religion. I asked after his welfare, and if he's one of your own faith, then all the more reason why you should have a care for him, sir.
Do you hear the rascal?
I do indeed. He'll not be so loose-tongued when the Archbishop arrives.
James Stewart is a good man. Would that you had a portion of his chivalry in your blood.
What is the meaning of this outrage?
Finally, at last, a man who speaks some sense. Sir,
how dare you say your masses in a reformed city?
You act more like a hangman than a bishop in striking me.
The hangman is where you'll be headed if you do not show some respect to the Archbishop.
What the hell did you think you were doing? Apprehending in the middle of the market square on a day of festivities.
I had a boy to raise it, sir.
When news reached me, I was told that a riot had broken out and some of my servants were killed.
Just a rumour, sir. No one was killed.
Do you have any idea of the embarrassment that caused me in front of the gentry?
I'm sure you handled it superbly, my lord, and with the utmost grace.
Robert Scott, what are you doing here?
I thought it only correct that a minister of the Kirk should be present on such a historic occasion, and may I be the first to congratulate Lord James Hamilton on such a fine capture at his first day as Provost of Glasgow.
Search the prisoner.
Let me help.
You'd like to look at you. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Hey! Stop it!
Down!
What do you expect to find except a body like that which you possess yourselves? Why must you strip me naked?
All right, enough.
I have found enough evidence, my lord. Hey, show that the Archbishop will be found in the prisoner's person when we brought them here.
A breviary.
Of the kind used by Roman Catholic priests to pray their incantations.
Incantations which you will find in your own Bible.
A compendium of controverted questions of religion.
No doubt with clever answers from the whore of Rome herself.
A small jar of Beazestone powder, a ring, to seal letters. What is this?
It's not
I see us, Bishop!
black magic. I want no dibbery in this house.
It looks as if it contains some human hair.
I knew it. I thought it's witchcraft. I've heard of this kind of
Oh,
thing.
be quiet, James. Whose hair is this?
If I tell you, will you give it back to me?
See, I tell you, this is important to him. Your real name is John Ogilvie, is it not?
Aye.
Yes, I know. And you are a priest of the Society of Jesus, otherwise known as the Jesuit Orders, and you have dared to say Mass in Glasgow. You will give us the names of those who attended your Masses, priest.
I will do no such thing.
We have a list of names already, my lord. It was supplied by Boyd.
God forgive him.
God's work is being done this very day, sir. I assure you.
Please don't harm him, please, please.
What is this, Ogilvie?
It is some hair from St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Society of Jesus.
Oh, relic.
Superstitious rubbish.
Mr. Hay, see that the prisoner is suitably detained until morning.
Yes, my lord.
Ogilvie, I shall see you at my hall in the morning for questioning. Now, gentlemen, I believe this was a day of celebration, and now we have even more reason to be joyful. Will you join me for a nightcap?
Delighted to, Archbishop.
It will be an honour.
I'm going to take very good care of you, Ogilvie. What's funny, eh? You won't be laughing when I put you in the stocks.
I very much hope you keep your promise.
Do you think I was so inhumane, Ogilvie?
It is no humanity to lie. Don't promise threats you don't intend to keep.
Watch who you're talking to.
I know fine well what you are. Now, go and see to the locking up of your prison and go and sleep till tomorrow.
We'll see if you're still laughing. In the morning! Right!
Lady Spottiswoode, what a pleasant surprise.
I don't know why you're surprised to see the wife of the Archbishop in the Archbishop's castle.
Yes, quite so.
Have you seen my daughter Anne?
No, my lady. If I had, I would surely remember, as she is one of the most beautiful creatures in this dear green place, surpassed only by your own beauty, my lady, but you has a certain...
Mr. Scott, if you see her, please ensure that I'm informed at once.
Yes, of course, my lady. Will you be watching to see the priest's trial?
No, it's of no interest to me.
But, my lady, surely as the wife of the Archbishop you should have an interest in the trial of one who poses so very great a threat to your husband's office.
Mr. Scott, the man I married was a minister of the kirk, not an archbishop. The affairs of his office are his own to deal with. Good day to you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the nobility. Do please be seated. It is so very good of you to attend this hearing. Proceedings against the Jesuit priest are, no doubt, of very great interest to all of us.
Please be upstanding to greet His Lordship, Archbishop John Spottiswoode.
Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday was a day of great celebration for us as we welcomed the appointment of Lord James Hamilton to the office of Lord Provost of the city.
It's a great honour to be here in my official... Yes.
Not now, James.
Sorry, Archbishop.
However, our celebrations were cut short by the untimely news of a riot which had apparently broken out in the market square. I know that my sudden departure concerned many of you, but happily the reports of the murder of some of my servants in the skirmish turned out to be no more than rumours. Today is another happy occasion when we begin the process of questioning the man apprehended in the interests of justice. Mr. Scott, please go and ask Mr. Andrew Hay to bring forth the prisoner.
Yes, my lord.
I would ask you to remain silent throughout the proceedings. This is merely a preliminary investigation and not a public trial. You, ladies and gentlemen of fine standing, have the privilege of being present at this early stage of the process.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Ogilvie. I trust you are well rested.
Sadly, I found the hospitality of your house somewhat lacking, and spent most of the night in prayer for those whom your men are at this very moment dragging into prison.
Mr. Ogilvie, I put it to you plainly. Have you said Mass in the King's dominion?
If to do so is a crime, then it should be proved not by the oath of the accused, but by witnesses.
Oh, we shall prove by the evidence of those who saw you.
Very well. If the witnesses are sufficient for you, well and good. Their evidence will not be made less conclusive by denials on my part, nor will it be confirmed by my confessions until I think it fit to do so.
Are you a priest?
When you have proved me to have said masses, you will have proved by the same evidence that I am a priest.
What is your real name?
What is the purpose of your question? If you regard me as a suspicious character, make a definite accusation and prove it by witnesses. You have not treated me so well that I should do anything to oblige you. What I am bound by law to say, that I will answer. You will get nothing else out of me.
I don't think he's Ogilvie at all. I think he's Stuart.
Oh,
He is probably of low blood.
for your information, I am of noble blood. I am the son of Sir Walter Ogilvie of Drumnakeith.
That remains to be settled.
Do you acknowledge the king?
James is de facto King of Scotland.
Then you will have no problem taking the oath, so that we who sit here by the king's authority and his command may know whether you have plotted against the state. Clear yourself under oath, or we shall find you guilty.
Surely I need not remind you that vain swearing is a sin. Why should I call upon God to witness my innocence, knowing all the time that by the laws such an appeal could do nothing to help me? Besides, the law rules out oaths in criminal cases for fear that the accused should perjure their souls to save their bodies. I am not so keen to break God's law by swearing. Prove your charges by witnesses. If you cannot do so, why then do you persecute an innocent man?
In the king's name, do you refuse to swear to answer without equivocation or mental reservation all questions that we ask?
Since no law binds me, I shall swear to answer when I see fit. Otherwise I shall say I am unwilling to answer that which can be used to my damage or to my innocent neighbours. To do so would be a sin, in the first case against my neighbour, and in the second against my own self, which surely natural law and all laws deriving from it surely seeks to preserve.
Oh, you are gifted in rhetoric, I see. Oh, swear how you like, it makes no difference. Don't you know that the Mass is outlawed in the King's dominions?
This is a leading question. To answer it could endanger my life or my neighbours'. But I will say this. A matter of religious freedom does not belong to the King's forum. You are asking me to throw my life away. Judges, if such are here, should hunt down crimes, not sacrifices, thefts, treachery, murders. These belong to the King's forum, but the sacraments of religion do not. It were as ludicrous as if the state were to try to dictate the laws of marriage to the church.
Why did you come to Scotland?
To unteach heresy.
Who gave you the authority? 'Twas no king or bishop.
You are all laymen. The king is not a priest. He has no spiritual authority. Christ's sheep were committed to Peter's charge. Whoever would feed them must seek the approval of St. Peter's successor in the Apostolic See in Rome. From there comes my authority, and I can trace it back through all of the pontiffs to Christ.
It is treason to assert that the Pope has spiritual authority in the King's dominions.
It is faith to hold to it.
Will you sign a declaration to that effect?
With my blood, if need be.
So our king is a heretic. Can the Pope depose the king?
I am not bound to declare my opinion on controversies of religion, unless asked to do so by the Pope or someone with authority from him.
And the gunpowder plot against the king. They say that Jesuits teach men such things.
I detest that plot and all assassination attempts on kings. Read the Acts of the Council of Constance and you will see that Catholics oppose such things. But that some heretics have tried to claim that those in authority can lose their rights by sinning and can be killed. Look to your own and you will see that a similar attempt was made upon the king's life by those loyal to the kirk.
And what of the alleged complicity of Father Garnet, a Jesuit, in the gunpowder plot?
He was innocent. He could not break the seal of confession by giving up his penitent.
If somebody confessed to me an attempt on the King's life, I'd betray my penitent.
Well then people should not confess to you. Besides, I came to this country to preach Christ, not Garnet. Each for himself, and God for us all.
My Lord Archbishop, the prisoner is set to collapse.
I'm still not convinced of your noble birth, Ogilvie. That is your name. One person claims that you are a steward with a brother who's a preacher, and that you have been seen orchard robbing. We also have the declaration of a gentleman from your part of the country, who claims that you assumed his name to hide your vile trade, and had it not been for the presence of the bishop's men and the nobility, they'd have thrown you in the fire.
Well, if the gentleman is here present, I should be very much obliged to him if he would carry out his plan, for I am freezing to death.
The prisoner is obstinate.
Very well then. Take him away and see that he is well secured.
Yes, my lord.
We will continue proceedings on the morrow. Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Ogilvie, if I were a bishop, I would have you boiled in oil.
If God had wanted you to be a bishop, he'd have given you more brains.
Come along then. I've got a nice, cosy cell just waiting for you.
Oh God, please let her come. Don't let them find me before she comes. Are you Mary Mac? Oh, thank God you came, child. It was the least I could do when I got your note, but how could you? There's a woman who cleans in your father's house. I know her and I asked her to take the note to you as a matter of urgency. Have it here. Look, I know you don't know me. I work in the tavern beside Robert Haygate's shop. Oh no, has something happened to Robert? I heard they arrested him this morning, and they arrested Marion Walker too. I thought you ought to know the truth. I went to the market square yesterday and I saw the whole thing. I know the man who betrayed the priest. It was a man who was paid by your father to spy. I heard them over talking in the tavern, and I went to the market to go and try and warn them, but it was too late. I just thought you ought to know. Please understand that my father's actions are not my own, and neither are his views. There's something else you need to know, child. They arrested James Stewart yesterday too. Listen, I can't count the number of times I've heard that man speak of you. He put a really brave fight up to help save the priest, but he got arrested. Oh God, what shall I do? Do you love him? He's... Give us an honest answer, Hen. Do you love him? Yes. I love him. Well, you must do something. What can I do? I am powerless. No, you must tell him that you love him to help ease his pain. Also, you must understand if they start naming the names of the people who attended the masses. James wasn't one of them. He wasn't a Catholic, but he did respect our rights. I have to go. The proceedings against the priest started this morning. And they'll come for me soon enough. And when they do, I will never mention me for this conversation, and neither should you, not even to spare my life. But go speak to James.
You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. Please God, keep my William safe. He is a good, honest man. Please keep him safe for the sake of our children. William, you're back.
Rumours are true. They have him imprisoned here in Edinburgh. They brought him here after 3 trials in Glasgow to face the King's Privy Council, led by Spottiswoode.
Oh, poor Father Ogilvie.
Oh, it's much worse than that, Isabella. They tortured him in his cell. Horrendous things they did to him.
Please sit down. Let me get you a drink.
I asked one of the guards to tell me what had happened. I hear that when the magistrates questioned him, he led them a merry dance and outsmarted a lot of them with his humour and his clever answers.
That sounds like Father Ogilvie.
No, Isabella, it's much worse than that. I'm sick to my stomach with what I've heard. He wouldn't give up the names of anyone who attended his masses. So Spottiswoode wrote a letter to the king, asking for permission to torture Ogilvie by applying the method of the boots.
Oh. They
apply a terrible apparatus to the prisoner's legs and hammer iron wedges into the marrow splits through the bone. Oh. They threatened Ogilvie with this, and they even put the apparatus in his legs, but he told them even if they did this, he would quite happily spend the rest of his life in the priesthood, sitting down, hearing confessions.
He's such a brave soul.
They didn't use the boots, but they tortured him using a barbaric practice called the vigil. They fastened his arms to a wooden plank so that he could not lie down and sleep. Any attempt he made to do so, and they prodded him with knives and sharp objects to keep him away, them into a stupor, so the magistrates could not get the better of him with their questions. They kept him awake for 8 days and 9 nights, Isabella, 8 days and 9 nights. And there were 3 of them who tortured him. Chief among them was Andrew Hay, Spottiswoode's servant.
Oh my goodness, God help him. Any news of the trial?
Aye, the word is the king himself was sent the answers that Ogilvie gave to the Privy Council, and has ordered that his admission in Glasgow about the Pope's spiritual jurisdiction and the King's dominions is enough to sentence him to condemnation to a traitor's death. They questioned him mercilessly about his beliefs, but he clung to them, saying that if the King outlaws the Mass, then he would prefer to obey Christ, who ordered it to be celebrated for all time. He is to return to Glasgow for one final hearing.
Let's pray for him, William.
Okay. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
William Sinclair!
Aye?
I come here on official business of the King's Privy Council. I have orders for your arrest.
On what charge?
If I bring a priest, hands up! Somebody preached on you! Don't you stand, I have my order! Come quietly, Mr. Sinclair.
I love you, Isabella.
Get outside!
No matter what happened, remember, it wasn't Father Ogilvie who gave up my name. Kiss the children for me.
My Lord Archbishop.
Can't you knock?
I did, my lord.
Sorry, I must have dozed off. I was looking out of the window a few moments ago and I felt a great kindness come over me.
Yes, my lord.
I will be glad to leave Edinburgh and return to Glasgow.
Yes, my lord.
Any news of the prisoner?
He is safely imprisoned once more in Glasgow.
Good. Well, at least my wife will be here with me this time. You'll have heard that I have sent orders to have her brought through to Edinburgh during our deliberations. As I heard, She was pampering the prisoner with kindness.
A symptom of the weaker sex, no doubt, my lord.
Women, eh? As if I don't have enough to worry me without my own wife feeling sympathy for Ogilvie.
I know. I had to warn my own congregation against feeling sympathy for the priest. It seems that reports of our torture are having an unfortunate effect on the sentimentality of the people.
Yes. I fear we are creating a martyr. And the problem with martyrs is that when we kill them, they live forever. I must confess to a certain admiration for Ogilvie in all this. I have tried everything to break his spirit, but he is as obstinate as ever. He says that our efforts spur him on, and he laughs at them as the cackling of so many geese. Would that I had nothing to do with this whole sordid affair.
He is a gifted man. If only there were some way we could persuade him to see us, not as enemies, but as friends.
What more can we do? We have offered him a position in the church and a cosy living if he will just acknowledge the king's spiritual authority.
An attractive offer, my lord, but perhaps not quite attractive enough.
What do you mean?
We spurn the gentler sex, my lord, but women have their uses. Beauty, feminine
Where
charm.
are you going with this?
What if you were to offer him a wife, as a token of your good faith in him? What about your daughter, Anne?
She is my only daughter.
And what better pledge of your good faith in him than the promise of your own flesh and blood?
It's worth a thought. Could such a thing bring about his conversion?
There you are, you dog! How dare you have me brought to Edinburgh, dragged here by your men, as if I were a criminal! You pig!
Ladies, Botteswood!
You're drunk, woman.
So what if I am? I'd need to have a drink to put up with being your wife!
Mr. Scott, please leave us.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord! That's it, you little beastie! Crawl away underneath your rock! Scuttle back to your dung heap until you are required. I'm sure your tongue must be sore with all the bootlicking you've been doing.
That's enough, Rachel.
Excuse me.
Yes, it is enough. Enough to make you sick. You make me sick, husband. You ought to be ashamed of yourself for what you've done.
If you are speaking of Ogilvie, I advise you to hold your tongue. You know nothing of the matter.
I know nothing. Then I must be the only one. The whole country's talking about the torture you have put him through. And you have the gall to have me brought here to Edinburgh because I showed him some human kindness in his prison cell. What kind of a Christian are you, John Spottiswoode? You're not the man I married. He was a decent, upright man who believed in God and the dignity of human beings.
Enough of this, you're drunk.
So are you! Drunk with power while you dance like a puppet for your king.
How dare you!
That's it! You go ahead and hit me. That's all you're good for. But you can bluster and shout all you like. It'll do you no good. You watch your world crumble to dust while Ogilvie laughs in your face. You can't draw the faith out of him, but you have sucked it out of me. I used to believe in you. You were everything to me. A man of God, a loving husband, a devoted father, a minister of the gospel who cared about its message. That's gone now. I've watched you sell out your values one by one. I've lost you, John. I've lost you in a maze of politics and power struggles.
Oh, I forgive you. You're not yourself.
Oh, how very righteous of you! But you're right. I am not myself. And neither are you, John. We gave up being ourselves a long time ago when we took up seeming to be and gave up just being. Your own daughter hates what you have become. Can't you see it? Has power blinded you so much?
I see it. I see that the devil in that Jesuit priest has corrupted you to such an extent that I wish to see justice done on him, and he will have no glorious martyrdom from me. And as for our daughter, she will very soon learn that it is not her place to question the actions of her father. She will do as I say. By God, she will.
This has nothing to do with God, John. It never has. Don't you forget, I know you attended Catholic Mass during your travels in France, and that you also once believed in Presbyterianism and spurned the idea of bishops.